Welcome to A Course in Miracles. We're at it again and still having a good time. Let's introduce ourselves.
Linda?
Sean.
Mary Beth.
Kelly.
And we are now on The Illusions of the Ego,
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, and paragraph number
11.
11. I hope they're not.
If you have a book
If you
like
have a book,
this.
yeah, follow along. It's a lot of fun. That's right.
It's a guess.
Sometimes we think we even know what we're talking about.
And then it passes.
Yeah. Definitely passes.
So who'd like to start?
Linda does a good job.
Does she do a good job?
But I feel like I'm hogging the first one. Does anybody else like to be first?
What's everybody looking at me?
Why don't I go first?
Okay, Linda.
The ego has built a shabby and unsheltering home for you because it cannot build otherwise. Do not try to make this impoverished house stand. Its weakness is your strength. Only God could make a home that is worthy of His creations, who have chosen to leave it empty by their own dispossession. Yet His home will stand forever, and is ready for you when you choose to enter it. Of this you can be wholly certain. God is as incapable of creating the perishable as the ego is of making the eternal.
Okay, there's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference between ego and God, which I've been seeing some of that in here, where it says God is incapable of creating the perishable, and that's what this is. This is perishable. It's all going to, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's all going to go away. God is incapable of creating the perishable.
So we can't blame Him.
God
There's
didn't create
people that
this.
Blame God.
I know. We created it.
Yeah.
And just as the ego is incapable of making the eternal.
Very good. Puts it in perspective.
It's hopeful, isn't it?
But it's
And we just remember.
It's right.
Yeah, and it's like a little third grader. I'm not in charge. I want to be, but I'm really not, and I'm really glad that I'm not, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
That's true.
So isn't that kind
Yeah.
of like we are now with the ego? And
Yeah.
Thinking that this is the be-all, end-all. Thinking that this is it. And using this to remind me all the time it's not.
so you got one book against everything else.
I know.
Something that's helping you lately.
What's helping you, Sean?
The first separation is our conscious. Right?
Okay.
And then in our conscious is the ego and the Holy Spirit. The way I understand it. And so, because I'm conscious, I'm usually thinking of the ego, but now that I know that my conscience has also got the Holy Spirit, it's been helpful to me to realize that it's my choice and I can jump over there. That's really neat.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we're not a victim.
Right.
And sometimes when I hear, when I think of it like that, Sean, it reminds me of, they would say, you have an angel on this shoulder, and you have a devil on another shoulder, and they're whispering in your ear. And so it's like, well, then who are you? Because it's saying the ego and the Holy Spirit, they're on either shoulder, and you are the one who gets to choose which voice you listen to. Right now, the ego is really loud.
But you know what? Since this book is coming out, the ego's gotten a lot quieter.
Really?
We talked about this last week.
We did.
And it's really because of realizing that the conscience was our first breakaway from God. And right there is the ego and the Holy Spirit. It's nice feeling like you're up near the top of the ladder instead of way down here.
Yeah.
But this book has helped me to get up to at least the kind of top of the ladder and work with the Holy Spirit. Are we going this way?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like you volunteered.
Yeah, I did. Of your ego, you can do nothing to save yourself or others. But of your spirit, you can do everything for the salvation of both. Humanity is a lesson for the ego, not for the spirit. Spirit is beyond humility because it recognizes its radiance and gladly sheds its light everywhere. The meek shall inherit the earth because their egos are humble, and this gives them truer perception. The kingdom of heaven is the Spirit's right, whose beauty and dignity are far beyond doubt, beyond perception, and stand forever as the mark of the love of God for His creations, who are wholly worthy of Him and only of Him. Nothing else is sufficiently worthy to be a gift for a creation of God Himself.
Okay, I'm confused. Spirit is beyond humility because it recognizes its radiance and gladly sheds its light everywhere. The meek shall inherit the earth because their egos are humble, and this gives them truer perception. Huh?
Well, this is similar to what they were saying last time we were talking, was that in heaven, they don't even understand forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a part of the experience of heaven because it's truth and there's nothing to forgive. This is an attempt to describe a reality that we are unfamiliar with.
Yeah, when we don't have the ego in charge.
But that's what a lot of this is.
The egos are humble.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Humility is a lesson of the ego.
Mhm.
The ego has all these lesson qualities called
Okay.
forgiveness, humbleness, we have pride, we have all of these attributes that don't exist in heaven. So humility is a lesson for the ego, not the spirit. Spirit's beyond humility because it recognizes its radiance and it gladly sheds its light. It's a very, very beautiful place to be able to be where you're so willing to, I mean, we say, oh, I'm shy, or I don't want to shine my light, or we tell people, you have greatness and you keep hiding it.
Music with the
There
chorus.
you go. Only hear it.
You know, this reminds me of is the Abraham teachings, you know, how they try to remind us of our brilliance. And
I mean, I think that this whole paragraph here, when it was talking about humility is a lesson of the ego, not for the spirit. Spirit is beyond humility because it recognizes its radiance, is a description of a place that we have a hard time understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because sometimes when we say people radiate, we say, oh, their
ego.
Their ego. They have such a big ego.
Yeah, it's our ego saying, it's just a jealousy of the ego.
But spirit shines all the time. I mean, when you think of an angel, because that's how we tend in our minds to equate the world that's beyond us, they're always in a place of total confidence.
Oh, you know, all knowing.
And we allow that. We allow them to appear confident. We allow them to appear generous. And we allow them to radiate. And we don't look at them and go, God, they have a big ego. We just say, wow, it's an angel. That's because we're in judgment. So we judge, of humans, we judge those qualities. Of angels, we allow them to be. I think that's just so cool when you realize it.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
You're so big. You think you're so big. But we never say that about angels.
No.
We just say they're so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We allow them all the attributes that we judge the humans to have. It's amazing. I just think this is cool.
You get so much out of
She's
this.
been tickled. I do. Oh my. Doesn't take much.